Hello and welcome to the new video. Today we're going to take a look at some sand and battles with the Necrozma Dawn Wings form. This Pokemon is one of the most broken Pokemon most likely for this meta, at least based on PvPoke's results. And so I'm kind of curious on how good this Pokemon actually is going to be, and we're going to take a look at this here today. We're going to have some battles sent in here, so thanks so much for that. We're going to also have some battles later on still for the other Necrozma form, so definitely stay tuned for those as well. Some that you definitely have not seen on YouTube yet. And so, yeah, definitely stay tuned for this. Here we're going to see the full farm against the Togekiss, which is quite nice for you, as you're going to go for that Stone Edge against the Dragonite. Allowing you to get the knockout against them is going to be quite nice, as now the Mewtwo takes super effective damage from those Shadow Claws. Look at the damage output. Necrozma is honestly absolutely wild. Side Strike coming through, nice prediction there, and the opponent just decides to forfeit. Honestly, it is quite mad. Like, this Pokemon has Stab Shadow Claw plus Stab Moongeist Beam, which is just insane in the current meta. While, yes, the defensive typing kinda sucks for this Pokemon, being double weak to, I think, Ghost and Dark as well. I think both of them. It's still kinda insane on how hard this Pokemon can hit, especially in neutral scenarios. Just having the best fast move in the game and one of the best charge moves in the game is quite mad. Crazy good stats. Not the greatest coverage move, which is something that I like that this is the case, because otherwise like this Pokemon would be even too busted. But honestly, I'm playing the Master League recently myself as well. I am not really the biggest fan of the Master League currently, because I feel like it's kind of unfair. I feel like it is kind of unfair for like anybody who did not go to a Go Fest, anybody who did not go for 200 plus, like 250 plus routes. It is just quite a different kind of story there. Like, I feel like if you talk about inaccessibility for Pokemon Go, Master League is like the worst thing ever, like ever from like Pokemon Go so far, because you have Zygarde, which is super difficult to get, and you can only get like one form so far, so if you have bad IVs for it, you get wrecked. You're going to have Solgaleo, which is also a Pokemon that has not been yet in raids now, I think, for the people that go to the Go Fest. I think they were in raids, but I think only in the park or something like this. So that's super difficult to get and super overpowered in the current meta. And now you have two new super strong Pokemon that are also only exclusive for the people that went to Go Fest, which is kinda mad. Of course, something's going to be a little bit different, a little bit better in a little bit more than, actually exactly I think a month now or something. So yeah, it's going to be okay then, but currently Master League feels kinda like a like two-class society here, because you have like those people that went to Go First, that went out for all the routes, who can have the greatest time in it, and then like everybody else who doesn't have those very busted Pokemon kinda struggle a lot. Crazy undercharge here, by the way. Like, that kind of was a mad gameplay here so far. As you're going to see, the Kyogre actually going to go down. The Alga is going to go up against the Necrozma. I'm actually curious about this matchup, because it should be kind of decent for Necrozma, I feel like, because you outspeed them usually. Yeah, of course, the opponent had some previous energy already, which is kind of annoying, but usually you do generate one or more energy per turn compared to the opponent, allowing you to outspeed them, as Dark Pulse is a 50 energy move, Iron Head is a 50 energy move, and so you can knock them out. In the back is Landorus. I don't know why the opponent played it like this. I don't really see the point of how they played it, because, yeah, like Landorus is not going to have a great time here. You can just go ahead and go for the full farm down here against the opponent, even let the move go through. I think you're fine here. Maybe there's actually still a way for the opponent to win, but I doubt. Maybe actually. Wait, you have to kind of call this. I feel like this is a Sansea Storm as well. I think they actually win this now. That is, never mind. Okay, maybe they don't, and we can move on to the next opponent. Literally, like maybe one energy, whatever was missing there. That was quite close. This is actually an interesting matchup. If you saw one of my recent videos as well, was talking about this, you can actually flip this one as a Landorus user, which is really cool. So, as you can see, we're gonna get the attack drop there onto the opponent's park here. You can also just let the move go through and kind of sacrifice your Landorus, but I think you can actually use a shield, and you can actually get either the shield advantage or switch advantage, which I like to play a little bit more. But here, I guess I want to keep the shields for that Necrozma. Honestly, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of sad to see like Necrozma as a name on top. I know it's Necrozma, but like you only really know it as like Dawn Wings Necrozma or whatever. But I guess like it still counts as the same name for Pokemon Go. Dark Pulse coming through here. I haven't seen the Moongeist beam yet, right? I feel like every time they just go for Dark Pulse, which is just a cheaper move to go for. I guess with the insane amount of fast move pressure that you have with this Pokemon, it does make kind of sense. You try to catch the move here onto the Palkia, which is kind of cool. If you get rid of the opponent's shields, I guess you're going to be in a great spot. But they're going to have the Dialga still lurking in the back there. You are not going to be able to reach that Dragon-type charge move of Spatial Rent, which is fine, as Awkward here is going to try to force a shield from the opponent. This is going to be a loss. Like, there's no way you can win this battle. And I think they know this point as well already. They have to try to get to 2 Dark Pulse still, and this is not going to work out for them. They are just too low. Dragon Breath is going to now fully farm you down, and this is going to be a good game. Moving on now, let's take a look what the next opponent is going to have here. We're going to have the Kyogre in the lead. In comes the Dialga, great for you because you can retaliate immediately with that Landorus. Landorus can go from that super effective Sancia Storm, dropping the opponent's attack, or even getting the shield, which is quite nice for you. Awkward thing is, by the way, for this matchup, basically Dialga against Landorus was so much better for Landorus when it was the normal Dialga. The Dialga origin form is a little bit tougher because what we're gonna see now is that you're still going to be forced to go for, actually, yeah, exactly, you would have been able to, or you would have needed to go for a charge move in time, because here they get to the move. Otherwise, the normal Dialga would have never got to the move there, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. Stone Edge does a little bit more damage than Sancia Storm does, but of course doesn't get the drop, which is better for you here anyway, because they're going to be swapping out for sure, and they're going to have a Zekrom in the back. Going straight for the Awkward Tail is an interesting play here. You can swap out here, I feel like, and yes, the opponent decides to let the move go through. It's going to be still kind of close, but I think you're fine. You can get the final shield here for sure. The opponent is definitely going to shield this, you know that as well, so you don't even hit the bubbles. We will see the Bolt Strike or the Wild Charge coming through, or the Crunch. Never mind, I forgot about Crunch being double super effective here. I think the opponent would have got to the Crunch in time as well before you would have even got to a move. If this is a Surf you easily survive, I think an Origin Pulse might be your demise, but it is going to be a Surf, and so you can go for that Spatial Rent, knock out the opponent, and we still haven't seen a Moongeist Beam, which is quite ridiculous. So, next opponent, we're going to see Palkia in the lead, which is going to be a very neutral one. Awkward thing for you is you have a 14-15-15 variant, so you're always going to lose the CMP tie, and that is going to be not as great for you. The opponent goes for the Spatial Rent, which is definitely great for you, as you can now go for the full farm down, because the opponent went for the charge move, you got a free fast move in, and so you can align yourself, which is actually a great thing for you to do. I would actually recommend you to always play the lead matchup like this, and they're going to have a Landorus in the back, and so you can perfectly align yourself. You can have the Necrozma against the Landorus, and the Landorus against the Dialga. Issue is here though, that you're still not going to be in a spot where you guarantee win this battle. But it's definitely looking kind of nice for you, because what you can do here is with the Shadow Claw damage coming through, you can actually get the opponent into a range where a Stone Edge is going to knock them out. But he actually decided to swap out of here, which is an interesting play. A Stone Edge coming through, got shield here from you for sure, but it is not going to be over yet, as you can go for the Stone Edge. This would maybe knock them out. It's just kind of exactly the amount of health that the opponent has right now. We will never find out as they decide to use a shield. Their play is, I guess, to catch a Stone Edge now on their Dialga, which I would expect they're going to try to do now, and you tried to predict this, and the opponent did not do this, and they decide to go for another Stone Edge, and that is going to be a little bit of an awkward one. So you're going to be forced to go for a charge move before they can go for their own, but you still should be fine here, because the opponent is going to have next to no energy on the Dialga. You're going to try to, of course, go for the Dark Pulse, because what else? Moongeist Beam doesn't actually exist in this world, and this Dark Pulse is going to be enough anyway, and we can move on to the next opponent. So, if you enjoyed this showcase so far, we'll really appreciate if you leave a like on this showcase here as well. And also, let me know in the comment section, what Necrozma would you prefer? Do you go for the Dawn Wings or the Dusk main variant? Again, we're going to have another video later on for the other form of this Pokemon. So, also, the team that you're going to see later should be really illegal. But anyway, we're going to see here the Ho-Oh coming in, as that's going to be a great matchup for you. You can use a shield here. Brave Bird's still going to chunk quite a bit against you, but you can go for the full farm now and they don't get to another move, allowing you to have so much energy now that Spatial Rent is going to be quite chunking against the opponent's Dialga, as you can just go for an Awkward here as well, putting them into farmland range with this. They might use a shield here, I hope they do, but they don't, and you just farm them down. You just stay in, farm them down. Let's see what's going to be in the back. It is going to be the Landorus, and you easily win this battle. Like, there's nothing the opponent can do at this point. You can just go for the awkward tail. You can try to even catch the move if you want to, but you don't. You can use a shield if you want to, but you don't. It doesn't matter. Like, it literally doesn't matter. You can go for a Sensia Storm against the opponent here if you want to and just, like, debuff them a little bit. Exactly, because you need a little bit more damage onto them for Stone Edge to knock them out, which you know as well, which I know, which everybody knows. And so you play this perfectly here. Again, this battler is also in a very decent elo range here, so they definitely know what they're doing. And we will see here the Stone Edge easily going to be able to knock out the opponent's Landorus, and we can move on to the next opponent. So let's take a look at that one. We're going to have the Ho-Oh against the Palkia in the lead. That's going to be a great matchup for you as the opponent decides to stay in here, which is a little bit of a rough one for them. They decide to go for the Brave Bird and most likely dip afterwards as you let the move go through. The Dialga in the back. Oh, it's going to be a Mewtwo in the back, which is a great matchup for your own Necrozma maybe. But you try to go for the Spatial Rent to force a shield from the opponent as you can not double resist, but single resist Side Strike, but you still have to use a shield because if it's going to be a Shadow Ball, it would do quite a lot of damage. Moongeist Beam still doesn't exist, so Dark Pulse is the way to go, as you gotta get the final shield from the opponent, and for you the best bet is to just go for a shield here as well. Fully farm them down, they cannot get to a Side Strike as well as a Shadow Ball most likely, exactly they only get to one. And the Ho-Oh, can we finally see a Moongeist Beam? Yes we can, hooray, let's see how much damage it's going to do. Let's take a look at the beautiful animation Niantic did here. Actually, there's still no animation, which is kind of mad, but we will see the knockout, and so there's going to be a good game. Fun fact about the Moongeist Beam animation, there was actually a time where it was in the code for like 5 seconds I think, and then they like kind of pushed it out again, so I don't know what was going on with that one. Was the same time as basically the move Nature's Madness got its animation, but yeah, for me, I feel like when Niantic released like those super insane overpowered Pokemon in just like regional events, maybe make sure to ban them for PvP, because I feel like it's not a fair play for anybody else. Like, you cannot expect that people are going to be able to just go to those events. Like, for me, I love to go to GoFest. I would have loved to go to this GoFest as well, but for me, as you know, I was literally just moving this week to a different place, and so it's a little bit awkward for me in general, and yeah, I just had no chance to go to the GoFest, and me trying to play Master League right now is a little bit of a tough one. You're going to see tomorrow, though, my favorite team for the Open Master Leagues. Definitely stay tuned for this one as well. And also, we're going to have Great League again on Friday, which is going to be cool. So stay tuned for this again. If you enjoy this type of videos, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. There's going to be a lot of content coming up on this channel, especially for the GoFest period. It's going to be a lot of fun, so make sure to do that. We're going to see here the Sensia Storm. I'm going to get the shield from the opponent, as we will be able to try to go for another Sensia Storm, but they let the move go through. Necrozma should be fine at finishing up this job, especially with that shield that you still have. That does not matter. And they even forfeited here, as you saw on the bottom right, as the task came there as well. Exactly, they forfeited with a Side Strike, which is kind of hilarious. Next opponent, we're going to have the Dialga against the Palkia here. Not a good matchup for you. Say-swap of Necrozma is so safe in the current meta, by the way. I don't even know a Pokemon that really wants to swap into this thing. Like, literally, like, what Pokemon wants to swap into the Necrozma? You have only Shadow Claw users, I guess Giratina, which would hit a little bit harder than you would, because they have double super effective ghost type damage. But like, there's not a single Pokemon I feel like in the meta currently that wants to swap into this, unless you go for a Snorlax. And I honestly kind of want to play Snorlax now. Maybe I do this after GoFest, because like after GoFest, Snorlax would have a lot of play. Just licking down Necrozma and stuff like this would be quite hilarious. Anyway, we're going to see here the Dialga coming back in. You can go for the Spatial Rant in time, most likely forcing a shield. I think they still have a shield left, right? Let's find out here. They do have a shield left, but not anymore, and now it is a time for your last shield to go as well. Landorus against whatever was lurking in the back here. It is going to be the opponent's Landorus as well. Kinda mirror team, but it's great for you to get out of the Stone Edge early on, because you know that you can still outspeed the opponent's Dialga, and you also know that no matter what the opponent does here, if it's a Sensia Storm, it doesn't matter. The next Stone Edge is going to knock them out. You have to overfarm by a little bit. This is going to be a Sensia Storm. This is going to be a little bit of a tough one, but I think this is the right call to do here, because you have to... Oh, you go for your own Sensia Storm. I think you can swap out into the Palkia afterwards. This might be the play. It's exactly the play that you're going to go for. And now you can go for the full farm down. You still should be able to reach a move here. Awkward Tail coming through. I think you're so wise for this even with the Palkia and win this game with the Palkia. Let's find out here. Yes, you can. We can move on to the final one for today. Melmetal in the lead is going to be not the ideal one for you, but also not the worst in general. They have to go for Rock Slide or Superpower against you. If they go for Superpower, it's fine. Like, you could have acted of swapping out here as well, but yeah, you actually swap on onto Landorus. I would have not really done this because Landorus is going to be a Pokemon which is going to be quite decent against the Melmetal, like the best answer for it. But against Mewtwo here as well, you should be kind of fine unless they're running Ice Beam. You could have actually used the Shield here as well just to guarantee that he survived a little bit easier. You could just shut them down afterwards. But as you're gonna see here, the Sensia Storm is gonna get the shield from the opponent. And I guess you always kind of try to force a shield from the opponent as well, so you can sweep endgame with the Necrozma, because you know, there's basically nothing that can take Necrozma's hits. And we will see even the Awkward Tail coming through here. So you try to knock them out with your Palkia. This is going to be fine. In comes again a Dialga. You can go for the Spatial Rend, which is going to do quite a lot of damage if it's going to connect. Not knocking them out, but getting the final shield. Now it's time for Moongeist Beam. Moongeist Beam is going to easily knock them out from this range. Use a shield here. Dark Pulse doesn't make sense because Dark Pulse will not do enough damage. So Moongeist Beam it is going to be, but they catch the move on the Melmetal, which is totally fine. Let's take a look at that. Boom! Not knocking them out, but getting them close. You can let the move go through. It's just going to be a Rock Slide anyway. Or Superpower, which is triple resisted, and of course Dark Pulse. Man, you could have went for the Moongeist Beam, but thanks so much for sending in the battles. Really appreciate it. Well played as well. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you later. So, bye bye.